One could argue that the first account of laziness was in the Garden of Eden. Adam ate of the fruit. God told him not to. He blamed his wife for his actions. The woman who thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat, said Adam. He blames her, but really he blames God when he says, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, as if saying, if it wasn't for you who gave me this woman, none of this would have happened. We see Adam's passivity with his wife, his avoidance of his responsibility, and how he shifts blame onto others. Us men today are in a lot of ways no different to Adam. We are often faced with the same temptations. Now my question to you is, have you learned from Adam's mistakes? Anyways, welcome back to the Canadian Crusade podcast, where we call and equip the young men of Canada to take a stand for the Christian faith, to act like men, and to be bold in the gospel of their salvation. And new season, recording, doing video, as you guys can see us now for the first time. Season on discipline, work, and responsibility. Yeah, what do you got to say, Michael?
First off, really excited. This is the first time on camera. I wasn't expecting it to be so nerve-wracking, just to know that someone can see my face as I'm talking, even though it's
the very handsome face. Might I add, the very handsome face.
Oh no. No. I have selectively chosen to wear my nicest sweatpants. Just putting all that out there. I'm not even gonna try,
Whatever, bro. Because he's being that humble, because he knows he's so handsome.
But I think we went over that like false humility is just pride. So
so at the end of the day, it's sin.
Also, yeah. What I loved in the intro was the fact that you brought up the blame shifting.
Yeah, I found that pretty interesting. That's kind of like one of the things that was like, I think that's what he's doing here.
It's absolutely what he's doing. I mean, it's so just relatable to any single couple, Christian or otherwise. I mean, what do we all fall guilty to but blame shifting, right? And I think that really does tie into the topic of laziness well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would there be to blame if I mean, why would we blame anybody else but try to shirk responsibility? And what is laziness except for an attempt to shirk responsibility, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I don't know. Well, yeah, you're Michael. I'm Jackson Scott. I don't know if we actually gave a proper introduction of ourselves. I think we were just a little nervous. First time being on video, so.
Yeah, it happened in real time. Yeah, there we go. Yep.
See, now you guys get a picture. If you've been listening to us for a while, this is what it's like. Mike he just has the board now, and he is the one to press the buttons. And now he does have 100% control. Because me, I do not know a thing about it. I literally have no idea what he just pressed. But once I'm editing this, I'll have some fun with it.
Yeah, that's kind of the best part. Yeah. Anyway, shall we get into it?
Yeah, man, let's do it. How about you? We both tackle this one. What causes us to be lazy? I think there's like so many things that can cause one to be lazy. I mean, first of all, an example for myself. What can cause me to be lazy is the temptation to put things off, to just relax. Literally just kind of, just to be lazy, just to do nothing, and just an excuse to spend time with my wife. Like, obviously, yeah, you have to spend time with your wife, and you should be doing so, but for me, there reaches a certain extent where it's like, okay, dude, get off your butt. Like, you're just being lazy.
Yeah, I mean, there are worse ways to be lazy, I think. Like,
or scrolling on my phone. That is a big lazy, that's for sure.
Yeah. So what causes us to be lazy? I mean, so you found it more like, okay, a call to being relaxed, and we are, of course, called to, periods of rest, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's like the narrow path that God's provided for us. But also that's why it can make it a little bit dangerous, right? Because we can almost be like me and go through public wearing the exact same sweatpants and sweatshirt everywhere because I say I want to be comfortable, but the reality is I just don't like thinking about what to wear.
Yeah.
For me, my mind immediately goes to just the, I guess you could call it just the pastoral response. Sin. Sin is why we are lazy. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think of it in terms of if God is the ultimate artist, right? I mean, he created everything, even the heavens himself declare his glory, right?
Mhm.
He's the ultimate creative force, and nothing is created except with him, with a say so, you know?
Yeah.
And so we could view the antithesis, right? And Satan being the ultimate anti creative force, just holding progress back, you know? And I view that in terms of like sanctification as well, right? Because we can't be unsunned, right? Or
Yeah.
undaughtered. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna, here's out there too, maybe 2 or 3 of you.
No, there's more than that.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, like actually, I think our listeners now, it's interesting. It's almost a 50-50, which is interesting. I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, you ladies out there, I hope that you're enjoying the show.
Yes, thank you, Jen. Jen 13. I corrected myself. Yeah, no, we appreciate that you're here.
Yeah, we're definitely blessed by you. That's for sure.
Yeah, and at the very least, I mean, the interest with women is a good thing because what is the greatest motivator to man apart from woman, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
the Lord.
Yeah, that's him working, isn't it? It's like, oh, Adam, you're doing great at this garden thing, but I think you could use a bit more motivation, you know? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And thinking about it, like the cause, I think it also really does come down to pride.
I think so.
Like literally, could we say that pride is literally the actual cause of laziness?
I think you might be onto something there, but how are you viewing it right now? I'm curious.
Like just thinking, like I'll just use myself as an example. So being lazy and the cause being pride, kind of just having the thought of oh, I don't have to do this kind of thing. Like, oh, I can put this off because I don't need to do this right now. Like, when in reality, that's just kind of a disservice to yourself and then to your people, probably. Because the more that you're actually active in doing things, it's not just serving yourself, you're serving God and you're also serving your people. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely does make sense. I mean, I think God would have us to do things. So for us to say, I don't have to, I can put this off. Yeah, I can see it's almost like a rebellion in and of itself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's great.
Yeah, I think you're really onto something there. But the next point, in fact, is the fact that you raised that laziness itself kills.
Oh,
I want to hear your take on that. So, yeah.
Well, what do I don't know. I feel like I've been trying to hold myself back from saying I feel like. I think that I have a lot to say on this. I don't know, but you'll chime in. So, well, I have it kind of broken down in a couple things. There's laziness kills you physically, mentally, and it kills your potential of success. And I think really, that is totally true. Like, laziness kills you physically, as in, if you're lazy, you're gonna start adding on some weight. Like,
that's true.
In reality, you're gonna start getting fat. So physically, it's a detriment to yourself. Mentally, being lazy, you just kind of start to be a downer. You start to get depressed, you know, and you just kind of start to think, oh, like, I'm kind of no good for nothing, kind of thing.
Yeah, because if you're not getting that feedback of I have done something in a day, you start to question your purpose as a whole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then potential for success or of success is just, like literally all the time that you're spending being lazy or putting off, like doing whatever it is that you're doing instead of doing something useful with your time it's detrimental to your potential success because I think we've mentioned this before. Could have learned Mandarin, you know?
I could have learned one word in Mandarin in these past 10 minutes.
Yeah, like I mean, it's so true though, and you have so much potential. Humans have so much potential, and we always end up spending so much time doing things that literally just don't matter. They're just such a waste of our time. And if we actually were to look at our lives and back, like being 23, 27, 28, 29, I don't actually remember right now. Yeah, like looking back at all the time that we've lived and looking at all the time that we wasted, it's like, man, we could have learned so many skills and use those skills for profit and potentially, for me, I'm just thinking of success and being in business and being able to make money to provide for a family. So it's like, man, you just lost that opportunity through all the time that you've wasted.
100%. Yeah. You know, sitting, literally the action of sitting, is associated with a 1.5 times increased chance of all mortality death.
Man,
so that technically includes tiger attack.
Better stand up.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. I had a professor in university, and his whole thing was that he would just get up out of bed, he would walk to the classroom to teach, walk back home, and just never sit the entire day until he lays down in bed. Like he would go from like laying down to standing up, and that would be it. Yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
The most ironic thing about it, though, is that he looked exactly like Charles Xavier from X-Men.
No
like,
way.
With a T, because he was bald.
Yes, of course. Was he in a wheelchair, though?
That's that would be pretty funny. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth. Time to bridle my tongue a little bit before I go a little bit too far there.
Oh boy!
But yeah, no, you. I really appreciate it. I think you're a poet and you didn't even know it when you said like it affects your mental and your potential.
Oh, I guess that was funny.
Yeah. I was just like, that was good. Yeah.
I'm glad you saw something from that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can't be expected to have like one train of thinking. My mind's just immediately thinking like, we'll have to have a pull aside for a conversation later. I mean, like, poetry doesn't work out. I mean, there's always the arts.
Oh, boy. Oh, man, I don't know. I was thinking about writing a book, though.
Oh, yeah? What are you thinking?
I won't actually give any detail or anything. Like, just, I don't, it's just a thought. I think I'd actually I think I'd enjoy to write a book. I don't know what about. I know that there's already multiple books on masculinity and stuff like that, but that is a big interest of mine. And that could be a potential, but I think that there's already enough out there. I don't think that should deter me from doing so, but yeah, I don't know. It's just an interest that I have. Also, actually, though, writing books for children, okay. Because I was trying to find books for my son, and I'm very, very particular, really particular, just theologically and doctrinally, and just wanting to make sure that he has the best. You know what I mean?
Give him Calvin's Institute.
Imagine. But
with pictures.
Yeah. But it's just like looking through just all these things. It's like, I don't really appreciate them much. To me, I think that I could actually produce something better. And that kind of sounds prideful. Maybe it is. I don't really know, but I would genuinely enjoy to actually figure out how to write children's books that are theologically astute.
Maybe something more along the lines of what, like, say, like R.C. Sproul writes, like his children's stories that, teaches like about the Protestant Reformation or
stuff like that.
The nature of being in Christ,
and just like nature of boy and girl and stuff like that, and making sure that there's actual stories that are very driven for boys and very driven for girls, and making sure there's that clear distinction.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking about how you want to nurture your kids, right? And, it's like what the late Voddie Baucham said, you send your kids to Rome, don't be surprised when they become Romans.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
But you can start nurturing them into the image of what they should be. You could even have characters that could form fictitious role models for them, kind of like how we have superheroes who will, you know, it's not very long until you're into your Marvel movies until they just the agenda comes out and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, by the way, I'm also a gay lesbian
Oh,
on
boy.
15 genders,
Yeah.
and my
yeah.
name is Superman. Like,
Yeah, that's something that
it always ends up happening now.
yeah, we're gonna avoid that, obviously.
Yeah,
Like,
if
that's,
you want to make a modern movie, I mean, like, you gotta, of course, give them a tragic backstory about how their sexuality was repressed by their parents. Yeah.
dude, you have experience in film. We should make a movie.
I was an on-set assistant.
Hey, I could be your assistant.
You could be. Assistant to the assistant.
Yes, exactly.
I've
Which is
officially
not a
become
real
like-
role. Which is not a real role.
Oh,
Actually, I would be an assistant to the assistant.
yeah, you would be.
So that'd be interesting.
Would be. Yeah. So, anyway,
yeah, what's that?
redirecting our focus.
Yeah, what do we got next? When do you? Okay, yeah. Question for you guys. When do you find yourself being tempted to be lazy?
I know my answer to that, and it's when I go back home to visit my parents. I don't know what it is necessarily, like the comfort of home, or the conditioned place preference of this is how I acted when I was a teenager. I'm back at home, it's almost like I can act that way again.
Well, like kind of more laid back, relaxed kind of thing.
Yeah. Like I always have this image in mind of like, oh, I'll go home, visit my parents, I'll read like 2 books or something while I'm there, and then it's just the same thing. Like, some video games are free,
Yeah.
I got 3 days, so why not? That's where I find it. It's just, I guess it's a result of
I get that.
of
Though.
comfort, but I think there's something there too, where it's your environment. I think ends up playing a really big role. Who you surround yourself with, or just the place you're putting yourself.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel the same way when I go back to my mom's. I just definitely like feel like I can just chill out.
Yeah,
and really not be burdened by anything, really.
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty interesting.
There are scriptures that do speak to us. It's like in that there in these times like stillness and quietness, like that's where we're restored, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that fine line between, like you were saying, right, with rest and relaxation versus just falling into sloth, right?
Yeah, no, that's a huge. What's it called? It's very easy for us men to fall into that sloth.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably like the predominant sin of my life has honestly been sloth. It was not so much of going out and doing all the wrong things. It was more so just like an unwillingness to do anything.
And I wonder if, like for you and I, that's something that is found to be the case in our lives. I wonder if that's the case with a lot of other men, or if that's something that they don't struggle with. And if it is the case, I wonder if it is because of Adam's laziness in the garden. I wonder if that's kind of been passed down. Like what's the word? It's kind of hereditary. I wonder if that's the case.
Yeah, yeah, it very well could be. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting theory. I don't know. I have no clue.
The one thing is just it's like definitely that just laziness. Like, I mean, sloth it alone is definitely sin.
Oh, absolutely.
Who did we get it from, right?
Yeah, our first father.
Yeah, so I'm gonna blame him. It was you, Dad.
There's the blame shifting.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh boy.
Even though it said that the kids won't be held accountable for the sins of their fathers, so that whole generational curses thing can just be like, meh.
Well, my take on it is, if you're saved, it's kind of done away with at that point.
Yeah.
Like, depending on however many generations that you've gone through with that curse, I think once you're saved, those are done away with. Yeah, the Lord has chosen to have mercy on you, so yeah, that's kind of it. That's my little take on that.
The next topic is procrastination.
Yeah, that's just a big. That's for me. That's in my life. That has been the most prominent, I guess, aspect of laziness. For example, for not recently, but definitely in the past for school, the tendency was to leave studying or just doing assignments and stuff like that to the last minute, you know, and then I'm just like, oh man, I got to do this like right now. I better do this fast because I have to hand this in tomorrow. And yeah, and I think just stuff in life in general, just leaving it off to the last minute, and then it's like, oh man, it kind of sucks. Procrastinating sucks because then you have to do it all last minute, and then it's just huge stress, and it's so unnecessary because if you didn't procrastinate, if you actually went about it the right way, like handling it over a few days rather than just jamming it all at once, you wouldn't have to bear that burden, you know?
Yeah, it always seems that the godly tendency is towards doing little by little, right? And not extremes. Now, how did you do on those assignments when they were left to the last minute? Were you still able to like do well with them, or?
It's actually funny. I think I actually did pretty well on them, which is kind of funny. I don't know why, but
Are you the kind of person who gets like when you got that pressure on, you just like lock in?
I think so.
Yeah, you think so?
You know, like for example, you know, it's not that I was procrastinating or being lazy about this, but I think men that are married and who have children, I think they'll understand this, and then you're probably totally understanding it as well. Like you'll get it. Is that once you get married or once you're engaged, it's like, okay, well, things got real here. You know, it's got to get my act together. Got to make sure everything's in check. And
you were in the wilderness. You were being prepared, and then hey, you're here now.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, the pressure's on, buddy. Get it together. That kind of thing. Yeah. And just just making sure, you know, like you got to be on point. You got to be on the ball. Yeah. When
you first found out that Megan was with child, did you find that something like shifted in you? Because I think I've seen that before, where it's like right as you know you're expecting, it's like you go from being man to dad man, and dad man is working like he's doing more shifts at work. You know, he's doing a little bit more around the house. You know, just like it's just a level up. You know.
Well, definitely. You obviously have to be considering your wife during this time because it is harder on her. She's definitely going to be more tired. Yeah. The things that she can do are genuinely limited just because of genuine tiredness of actually growing another human inside of them. So
a lot of work.
Yeah, so you have to be
body like nothing else.
Yeah, so you have to be aware and just, you know, as a man, we should be aware, like, paying attention to those things and making sure to pick up the slack. And it's not because she's being a bad wife. She's not. She's just pregnant. So just making sure you're on top of those kind of things. But having a shift in my mind, knowing that Megan was pregnant, I don't know. I think for every guy it's different. Okay. I do think so because I know that some guys, I've had conversations with men that they don't feel exactly very attached or like having that much of a love or almost not an excitement, but I don't know the right way of explaining it. So, for example, you know, the woman will be very excited and she knows and she's growing this human in her body, but for us, it's not very. We're detached from that. So we don't get that same lovey experience for the child, you know. I think once he was born, it was pretty awesome. I was like, oh man, yeah, like, I caught the little guy. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's right there in your hands.
Yeah,
there's my son right there.
Yeah, that is funny because when I caught the guy, like I was like, oh, he's here he is or whatever, and then the lady's like, oh, you don't know if he's a boy yet, and I was like, I know this is a boy. Like, I don't have to look at anything. I was like, I knew it. Yeah. But anyways, that's besides the point. I didn't really have that much of a shift. It was definitely a push to make sure that I'm on the ball, make sure that I'm working hard, that I'm able to provide for my family. Yeah.
Of course.
Because yeah, it's an added responsibility. It is another weight on the man, but it's a good thing because the more responsibility a man has, the more value he becomes. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, it just made me think of another quote that I prayed to God to make me a better man, and so He sent me a wife.
Yeah, it's a blessed
It's
thing.
not a how-to guide, by the way, for the men out there. I know there's.
But actually, ladies listening and watching,
Oh,
he is single.
oh
He's,
no,
he's ready.
we're not doing this. That's not happening.
Come on. Yes. Oh man. Yeah. Make sure to
Single,
comment.
but very unwilling to do anything about it.
No.
No, no.
You comment. Be sure.
So the next point.
And those of you who are just listening, this is going to be kind of awkward for you.
Oh yes,
Kind of funny.
It will be.
Yeah. So
Absolutely
those
will
that
be.
are just listening,
Yeah, to
make
you,
sure that
yeah.
you watch the video so that you can actually get in on the joke.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Take us through the next one, man.
Yeah,
Let's-
that embarrassment aside, was Adam first in being lazy? And he touched up upon it in the intro, and as far as men go, absolutely, yeah,
I think
yeah.
so.
yeah. Just he was there when the temptation happened.
Yeah. Exactly.
He had
Right.
every opportunity to intervene. But I know I mentioned it to you before. It was like the meme of the guy trying to put like a square peg into a round hole. He's like, I don't know what to do here. I am woefully unprepared to do anything here. Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, it's remarkable.
Yeah. Yeah. But I genuinely think, yeah, he was the first man to be lazy.
So what can we take from that? What can we learn specifically from that mistake to do? Because I mean, a man who knows what he's supposed to do but does not do it, for him it is sin, right?
Well, I mean, taking responsibility. I think that's the first thing. You see it and do something about it, right? And he didn't. He still took of the apple that his wife gave him from the tree that God told them specifically not to eat of. And him being the head, he should have been woman. He should have said woman. This is the apple that he told us not to eat of. And just basically thrown it away. And he shouldn't have taken it of himself. And then, yeah, he's like, oh, well, the woman that thou gavest me. If it wasn't for her. So it's like, if it wasn't for you, God, we wouldn't be in the situation.
Yeah, and that is of course our tendency.
Yeah.
Yeah, try to find any reason apart from ourselves, externalizing it as to why something happened. Even to this day, like I think I've had a lot of growth within my life, but I would say that there's still times where, I would much rather it be somebody else's fault than mine when I do something wrong.
Yeah, because that's just, I mean, I think that really goes for all of us. It's just the pride within us. It's, like, I don't want to take responsibility for this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the biggest example was like when I was on that last month of working with the scaffolding company, right? And we are called to be faithful stewards wherever we are, right? We, as people made in the image of God, we are called to have dominion where we stand.
Yes,
Not
exactly.
where we'd like to be, but where we stand, where we currently are.
Well, like you've said before, in that little area that the Lord has blessed you to have dominion over.
Yeah, I have dominion over my couch here. Everything that happens on this couch is a representation of who I am, right? And honestly, the couch is pretty torn up, so it's not a very good representation, but honest. It's an honest one.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, what I was meaning to get to is in that last month, right, I just threw in the towel, I could have been a man. I could have manned up and just talked to my boss and said, look, like, this isn't working for me. Like, please lay me off so I can find something that actually does work for me. But I chose the coward's way out, Instead, I chose slothfulness and just sort of forced the hand of my employer to lay me off. And in that time, I thought I was like, I felt so good. I was like, I knew that I had a meeting with the union about getting a different placement elsewhere, freedom was in sight. And I took that as an opportunity to be slothful because it's like, well, basically, I can make I can make passive income, but I just have to show up. So I went at 50% for those days and forced it to happen. And I regret that so much because I ended up burning bridges professionally with others as a result of what was ultimately sin, pride. It was pride and laziness, right? So yeah, I would just I would hope to be a bit of a don't want to say Batman, but like a kind of like tragic story kind of guy where I'd be like, yeah, don't do this. Learn from my mistakes and just know that it's regrettable. We actually have one coworker at the place that now I work at, and mind you, like I love my job. I love the work that I'm doing right now, and I've made the conscious decision to have a good attitude regardless of what's going on, and it's worked wonders for me. I feel so much more confident when I'm failing at tasks, and I find myself learning faster because I'm not just letting myself give into frustration, giving into the pride of giving into the flesh, right? Because all that that anger and that frustration that comes from the flesh, not the spirit.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing now is somebody basically just living out in real time what I was doing, because it's evident this guy hates this job, and
he's probably been on site for maybe about as long as you were on your other site.
He's been at this job for 2 weeks longer than me. He's been at it for about 2 months, and wow. He's just checked out. And it's kind of the same as I was, where before I became very resentful of my workplace because I just accepted the kind of bottom feeder position of more or less being a laborer rather than a skilled tradesperson on site. I was just I was just carrying gear, and it's important. It's foundational. Nothing happens without somebody effectively doing that.
That's right. You're useful.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just nothing comes except from that, right? And he's doing the same thing where it's evident that somehow he's found himself in that position where nobody wants to work with him because he just moves extremely slowly. It's hard. It's almost like actively choosing to move at 50% at all times. And slow is smooth, smooth is fast. But man, I try not to judge, but I saw this man. He said oh, I have to take the elevator up because I have my tools. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. If somebody has a big Milwaukee pack out, they got 100 pounds of tools. Of course, take the elevator. And so he finally shows up 20-ish minutes late to start work. And he's carrying a bag of tools about this big that weighs about 5 pounds. He's like, oh, the elevator didn't come, and immediately blaming the elevator for being late. And I'm just sitting here dude, no, don't do this. There's a better way. Yeah. But it's just a combination of things, right? And it's hard, right? Because I'm seeing somebody move in real time as I moved, right? And it's you don't work hard, and then you get put in a position where, you don't have to work hard. You work less hard. You don't own the position and try to do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah, so I have a question for you then.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, since you're having this experience with him, would you bring it up to him then?
I pray for him. I have waited for an opportunity to speak to him in person, just one-on-one, but that hasn't presented itself yet. Okay. So what I've been doing in the meantime is I'm just trying to be an encouragement to him,
Because, I asked that because I think, would I? And I don't know if I really would, because it's an interesting situation because, excuse me, you're not dealing with a believer. So we'll take it a very different way.
See, that's where it gets difficult because he's actually a very new Christian.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a new believer. We bonded pretty well over that. He attends a charismatic church here in Ottawa, but don't hold that against him. He's still a brother. Yeah. But yeah, that's where that extra layer there too is where it's I'm seeing him descend, but
yeah. So that is a good opportunity then to talk to him, being gentle, being honest but gentle.
Yeah, I was just hoping like maybe I would just see a bit of a change. I think I have been, but I've basically just been waiting for the opportunity to do it in person.
Yeah. Okay.
But but yeah, it's come to a point where it's honestly it's breaking my heart. But at the same time, the same individual I've oftentimes found kind of insufferable to work with as well. I was
Mm.
put on inventory with him one day, and put it this way, he feels the need to explain how to do everything. And I mean telling me which hand I should put on the piece of wood to pick up with him together. You ever have someone explain that to you? Like, it's one thing to be like, okay, you just want to take a leadership role, you want to push things along. This is good,
Yeah.
this is good. But I mean, like, it's every single
What year is he?
thing. He's a fourth year, and
Okay.
he's got that authority, over me, a
Authority.
budding third year. I am in the springtime of my my apprenticeship. I'm only beginning to bloom. But yeah, it's that's the issue with me, though, right? Because there's a mixed bag of it's just kind of like I want to see a brother grow and succeed and and do well where we're at because we have a really good opportunity where we're at. Union carpentry doesn't oftentimes offer finished carpentry. We're there. But in his case, it's almost like I've all. It's one of those things where it's almost like the sin has taken root, and we're all kind of eating of the fruit of it.
Mm.
Because what ends up happening is you're like, okay, you're gonna get this guy today, and they're immediately like, oh no, not this guy. We're not gonna get anything done. Then before you know it, it's just like everyone's performing not as well,
Yeah.
right? I think
Well, I mean, definitely, the people who surround you in your workplace definitely affect the outcome of the work and just the
100%.
output, the amount that you're actually able to get done. Because I mean, it really your mindset affects everything. It really
Absolutely.
does, especially at work.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And I just see it's like it's heartbreaking because you can tell like he's got a broken spirit right now, and he's just kind of like, you know, he's not giving it as much as he could. And honestly, like I can relate because I did that exact same thing.
Hmm.
But
But yeah, you can take it as an opportunity to be like,
yeah,
hey, man, I was in your shoes.
yeah,
So, like, as a brother in Christ, this is it.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah. Probably a good opportunity.
I think so too. I think I'll take that opportunity. I've been playing out my head. I've been like mulling it over, praying for him, really hoping that things are going to turn around. And that's what I keep putting out there too. I've heard a lot of people say some like bad things about him, and that's the pain of gossip. Like gossip is the laziest way to steal from somebody because it takes no effort and you're robbing them of their good name. And
Yeah.
that's all I hear all the time. Are people are just like, oh, like this guy. I have to work with this guy. But I'm just always trying to put it back. Like, I think he's going to turn around. I think he's going to come back. You're all going to see it.
Yeah,
Because he's in Christ.
yeah.
God is his father. God's a pretty good father. He
Yeah, I
disciplines
think
the one he loves.
Yeah, that's right.
But it raises that. But when it go back, but we go back to what you're saying, right? Because of course we're going to speak from a very biblical perspective. But I recently heard a quote from John Calvin that said we can't expect unconverted people to live like Christians.
Mhm.
And I think it's pretty evident that you look at Western society, Protestantism, and to an extent Catholicism as well, just mainline historic Christianity has produced the best societies. We in the United States and
Absolutely.
Canada. It's just if you want to argue with me, like debate me, it's like is
We're
this
down.
not the best places in the world?
Oh,
The,
boy.
the best things are made by
Yeah,
Christians.
exactly. And that's why our nation should be a Christian nation.
Absolutely. Oh, we're going back to the roots. It's mental, isn't it?
I mean, honestly, it would be really such a blessing. And
Absolutely.
when I think of that term, Christian nation or Christian nationalism, now because I've been watching, not very recently, but just a few of Stephen Wolf's videos, He's the man that wrote the book on Christian nationalism.
Interesting. Okay.
And oh man, but just his YouTube videos. His YouTube channel is called The Lone Bulwark. I highly
The
recommend.
Lone Bulwark. Oh,
Yes.
that's spicy. I like
Oh
that.
man, but his intro, it's like, oh, it's great. It gets me every time. It's like so motivating. It's just even if the only thing that you watch is his intro, man, it is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the
Highly
way,
recommend.
we are not affiliated, but
No, not at all. But
as a team, we are now strongly in favor. This is the first time I've heard of him, by the way. But hey,
yeah, yeah, I don't have to be in partnership, but can definitely speak good things about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, well, we should move on to our next point here.
Yeah,
I actually don't know which point we're on. Are you actually keeping track as good as I am?
yeah. So I think like what we did learn a lot from Adam's mistake. That was the point that we were going to go into. But now we think of the new Adam, the life-giving Spirit, God in the flesh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly.
And is he the example to follow?
Yes.
And I don't know how. I don't even want to suggest this, but part of the question was, did he ever really demonstrate laziness? And I would say absolutely not. He was
How could that be possible?
no,
right?
he's without sin.
Exactly. Yeah.
And but he also, but wonderfully, shows us the standard by which we are to live. And I really like it in terms of how he set boundaries with people. You can serve an example of limits
Yeah.
that he set with others, so that he could complete all that he was
he came
destined to do.
Yeah.
All that he came to do. I don't even want to say destined, because that almost reduces him. But yeah, all that he, as God, came to do and accomplish in the flesh
For us.
for us.
Yes.
And it had to be with just like being like, okay, I'm going to heal this many people. I'm going to go to bed. So I got to get up, and I'm going to be walking through all my ministry.
Dude, just thinking about it, just all the healings, the feedings of the thousands, and being gathered, what's the word? Just being surrounded by such huge crowds.
Yeah.
Just imagine how draining that would have been spiritually. Like, he must have been exhausted, absolutely exhausted. I have these Jehovah's Witnesses over, had a conversation with them.
Exhausting.
Yes, I mean, they're just circular arguments, but that's besides the point. It's just after that, basically, they came to evangelize to me, but I'm actually evangelizing to them. But so it was tiring, because it was like a few hours or an hour at least of conversation and stuff like that, or even just going out and evangelizing. After doing something like that, you come home and you're tired.
Absolutely. Every day that we ever did outreach, I mean, some days I would actually, if the day went well, like there were people that you could tell that God had been working their heart and placed them right there at that time to hear the gospel or to receive a Bible, because they, in one case of one Muslim man named Yahya, he had, which is awesome, because that's Arabic for, I think Arabic, but I'm not entirely sure, but it's maybe Arabic or Persian for the name John, right? And he approached me with just like this look in his eye, almost like he had the face of an angel, right?
Was he a tall black guy?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Like, I'm not very tall. We were about the same height, the average height, Middle Eastern man for sure. And he just he was so happy because, and I know this is a frequent thing in with those coming out of Islam, is that they experience a dream. He had said, like, I experienced a dream of Jesus speaking to me that he is the truth. And the first thing I wanted to share with him was just like, oh, this is perfect. I want to recommend it. I'm going to give him the Bible and recommend him the Gospel of John. He's like, oh, well, I mean, that's my name. Just an extra layer of that. But outside of those, man, absolutely exhausting.
That just makes me. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, the people I talk to more than anybody else are Muslims when I'm doing outreach. It's and I'm so grateful for our Muslim neighbors too, because they ask the right questions. They challenge the faith, and they force me to actually think on Christ and look to the cross. And it's so wonderful how it works that way, that he uses unconverted men to even sharpen his own children. But nonetheless, the amount of adrenaline spikes that would have from having people question that which gives me a sense of safety and security in my life drains me to my core, right? Like just like the rise and falls of people making questions about that which gives me my peace, right?
Yeah.
It disrupts it. You know, it's the same reason why when I listen to testimonies and I hear them talk about, you know, like I wasn't a Christian, and then I became kind of spiritual, and then I went to a pastor. He told me to pray in tongues for 5 hours, and I did. I'm a Christian, and like I get disturbed, right? Because I don't affirm that. I affirm that tongues have ceased, right? The biblical tongues have ceased, right? So when I hear something that doesn't go with my theology, I'm just like, oh, this isn't good.
I mean, well, they have a wrong view of tongues, though. They think it's jibber jabber when it was actually tongues being a different language. That's the actual correct tongues. It was different languages, not jibber jabber.
Yeah, and Paul speaks pretty clearly when he says, like, if it prays in a tongue, it's like my mind is unfruitful, right? And I think God wants us to have a renewed mind so that we can have a consistent communion with Him, not going up to God and being sabadabadubada.
Yeah, like you have to be able to interpret
it. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing.
Anyway, I could go off on that, but
yeah, we could both go on.
Yeah,
on
absolutely. But what I really wanted to get back to is Christ, right? Because we have his example in that when the woman who had been bleeding for 17 years. No,
it was 7.
7 years, had touched the fringe of his garment in faith that this would be able to heal her. If he just touches it, he says, power went out of me.
Yeah.
It drains him to heal others. He healed so many people in a given day.
Yeah.
He was always expending this. I mean, like, if it were, I want to say it's limitless, right? But it obviously takes something out of his. We could say maybe
he was in his human form.
Yeah, like
right?
His human nature maybe had just like energy reserves as we do that could be depleted by his.
Yet he still was God.
Yeah, he's still God and has that nature too. But I mean, if I had the power of God running through me, I don't think my flesh would stand very long, right?
Yeah.
But we do, I guess. It's funny that I say that because, in a sense, I mean, everybody who has the Holy Spirit within them has that.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, all this is so to make a long answer short, Jesus wasn't lazy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and if anybody for some reason thinks that, that's just absolutely insane. Yeah, we won't even go into that.
Yeah. When I read the words, I was just like, oh, don't do that to my Jesus.
Exactly.
But once again, it's like those same things those same draining conversations, right? Like we have to ask these questions because we must think about Christ.
Yes.
You know? I think a lot of the issues with laziness, right, is just self-centeredness, right? Like, I deserve a break. I deserve to just not go into work today. I worked 3 out of 5 shifts last week.
And I worked so hard.
I'm so done.
It's
just obsession with your own state. And the cure, in my opinion, to self-centeredness is God-centeredness. It's like making idols of ourselves. My needs.
Yeah, exactly.
When you achieve so much more when you just take your mind off of yourself for a bit.
Yeah,
I guess that's why we're called to consider others more important than ourselves, to serve one another as Jesus served others.
And it's crazy though. Just thinking about it, even myself, at the end of the day, how selfish we can really be.
Each and every one of us.
And it's just, it's crazy, and it burns because it's. I hate it. It's
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really annoying.
I think that's the sign of the Holy Spirit. Is like it's not that necessarily that. Like if I can even speak for myself, because I'm so frequently just caught up in self-centered cycles. It's just the fact that I can't stay there.
Yeah.
Whereas I think before people are converted, I think you do just sort of live in that.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if you don't have a God, who's going to be your God?
Yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So, last question being, this is the one that I wrote.
Let's hear it.
It's, do you think, and this might be a little bit of a weird question. I don't know if you'll understand it, but we'll go through it. Do you think that when determining something to be lazy, it is a matter of the heart? So, as an example, I'll give, some, we'll look at the Sabbath. How people say it's a matter of the heart what you might consider sin or not sin to do on the Sabbath. So my question is, considering something like, sitting on the couch after a long day's work and just relaxing, is that laziness? I don't know if you understand the question better now.
I think I do. Yeah, just and it's honestly it's a hard one to answer.
Yeah. I thought it'd be interesting to try and.
I think the answer is yes. I do think it is a matter of the heart and your own individual perspective and how God has made you to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it would definitely show my heart posture if I was, say, I was looking at a ballerina, right? I'm like, oh, I bet she hasn't built a single house in her life.
Probably not.
Completely disregarding how God has called her to be effective in her life, and instead just, I don't know, idolizing the way that I do, right?
Yeah.
And then we look at ourselves like, oh, our output wasn't as much this week. I mean, maybe we need rest and restoration. And once again, it's just a matter of perspective, I guess.
And this is kind of a different topic, but that what you said just kind of makes me think of, I saw this post that, what was it? How we often are so quick to judge what somebody else is doing. Like, for example, we're carpenters, and we might look at a photographer and be like, oh my gosh, this guy just spent $500 on a camera lens. Like, what is this guy doing?
$100 on a hammer.
500.
Correction.
Yeah, but stuff like that, people will probably think I'm insane for spending that much money on a hammer. I don't really care.
Yeah, they got no idea the kind of time that saves and the joints that it saves, but it's like only we can appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's like, we should stop diminishing what other people's gifts are and just judging that. And like, I can definitely see myself doing that in the past, and it's just, why? What purpose does that serve?
I think it's just always just the elevation of self. And the great thing is, God being a loving Father, when we exalt ourselves, it's like you don't have to pray that God humbles you. You can just be a human being, and you will eventually experience His promise.
And we should be appreciative of the other, of the people in the bodies, their other gifts, because we're given different gifts. We're all different parts of the same body.
Yeah,
there should be a greater appreciation for each other and our different gifts.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where having so many different denominations is a beautiful thing, because we're all going to have at least somewhat of a similar temperament within the different denominations. I'm not going to pretend that my charismatic brothers are the same as my brothers in the Presbyterian Church, because we're just not.
Yeah, I mean, that'd just be a lie.
It is. But it's like, you'd almost want to have like more interdenominational conventions where it's just like people are actively called to see the different perspectives throughout the body. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, like, you believe that the scriptures teach this way, and how does that motivate you to be how God has always intended for you to be, right? That's why and this is a most hateable perspective.
Okay.
But I like to hold that I think all the theologies are actually ultimately correct, in the sense that, well, do we have faith in Christ? Well, there you go. Then you got it all. But I think God uses different understandings of what Scriptures teaches to promote them to act in the way that gets His purpose to come across. I mean, He makes all things work together.
But I think you should be careful saying all theologies, because that is very, very broad.
Bit of a blanket statement.
Very broad.
Sure. Yeah, I know.
You're technically agreeing with the LGBTQ and all those crazy theologies or whatever.
I don't think that... Okay, well, first off, the foundation is, of course, Christ, right? I mean, like, you have to have a love for Christ, and a love for Christ assumes hatred of what Christ hates, right? So I'm not affirming something heretical, but for those churches that have different theologies, right? Like, when we think of our, like, Arminian brothers and sisters, right? What I see from these people whom believe And I really want to be careful here because the last thing I ever want to do is straw man. But I mean, there's a couple of beliefs like that. Perfection is something attainable, something to strive after. Not to mention that salvation can be something lost, as in also the Catholic Church, right? And I just wonder to myself how God uses that drive to accomplish His purposes, right? Because I always believe that all things will roll downhill to everyone being Presbyterian. I call it pride, but I just think like you go through like certain stages. God meets you where you're at, provides you a place where you'll feel at home, so that you can learn about He who alone matters. That's Jesus Christ, and develop a love for Him and for what He has done for us, for having first loved us. And then the rest is just kind of like gravy, It's like. It's funny, like the truth matters. I'm not going to sit here and deny that the truth matters.
Yes.
But when I think of it from a purely motivational standpoint, and I see all the good, because believe it or not, there are people at the Methodist Church who do very good things. There are people at the Catholic Church who do very good things. There are people in charismatic churches who do very good things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it just. I think I had this sort of black and white perspective where it's like, if your theology is wrong, you are wrong, and you can never do anything good.
Well, I mean, in a sense, it is kind of true, though. If your theology is wrong, you are wrong. That is a fact.
But do they have faith in Christ?
I would hope so, yes.
Then we can work from there.
Yeah, but if their theology is wrong, they are wrong. I'm not saying that they're not saved, because I don't know their heart, but if your theology is wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I just always hear, like, I think Redeemed Zoomer is probably, like, the best voice of this generation on terms of, like, millennial influencers for Christianity.
Yeah.
And he had a couple perspectives I thought were really good. First off, that, he was saved by having attended, like, an LGBTQ affirming church with, like, a lesbian pastor, because he was just sitting there being like, that doesn't seem right. I want to learn the scriptures to know if it is right or not. Yeah. So it drove him. It was a driving force, a motivator to actually learn the scriptures. And he has another perspective too, and I think is amazing. It's that good theology saves more people. I think people are just going to inherently respond well to the truth. The truth is hidden in each person's heart, just waiting for it to just be nourished. So, yes, theology is very important. Yes, the truth is something we should strive after.
Yes.
But the main point I want to get to is just how I find it. I just like to wonder just how these differences in how we understand, how that can be a differing motivational force. But ultimately, I think we should just be motivated by the love that we have for Christ, having first loved us and died for us. Like, that should be the big motivator, right? But... I just mean, like, like what we were talking about before, resentment can be very motivating for a bit, right? Like, God can make it all work towards good.
What is it? God works out all things for the good of His people.
It's my life verse, man. Romans 8:28.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm one of those weirdos that has a life verse. It's not even taken out of context either.
Well, here, brother, how about you start us off on our close here?
I would be happy to. Yeah, I love this. It's Proverbs 26, verses 13 and 14. I believe taken out of the King James.
Yeah, I didn't put the reference on it, probably. I think so.
It seems about right, yeah. The slothful man saith, there is a lion in the way, a lion is in the streets. As the door turneth upon its hinges, so doth the slothful upon his bed. And I love how that links into how you mentioned about how laziness affects mentality, because Bodhi Bokum, once again, the late Bodhi Bokum, had said on this scripture too that it's evidence that the sin of laziness leads to anxiety, because he genuinely thinks, I cannot leave the bed, for there may be a lion outside. Like, it's like there you go. Like, the Bible speaks about agoraphobia. Anyway,
I don't actually know what that means.
No, fear of like the outside world.
Okay.
And it has most to do with, the fear of the potential of danger upon leaving one's house.
Dang, that sounds like such a terrible life.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That would suck.
But through Christ, all wounds can be bound up, and then you know it, you're doing things you never thought were possible, even if that is sometimes getting out of bed. When honestly, I mean, sometimes you got to do the thing you really don't want to do, and sometimes the only thing you can accomplish in a day is just getting out of bed. And sometimes that can be the win too. I guess appealing to that question you had, you know.
Oh, the matter of the heart.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know if it's black and white. You know, I think sometimes the win is you got out of bed today. We can work from there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have more to say on it. I guess it would kind of depend, you know? Yeah. And it would really depend on the circumstances of your life at set point in your life.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, well, anyway, next scripture here is Proverbs 13, verse 4. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied.
Richly.
Yeah. So, basically, don't be lazy.
Clearly, that laziness leads to a sense of entitlement. Not only am I not going to do anything, I want you to pay me for not doing anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should become influencers, because then we can get paid for doing absolutely nothing. We're on the way. Please share this with people. I'm hoping to just return to my bed. Oh, I'm already in my pajamas.
That's not true.
I'm 100% honest.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, so yeah, guys, don't make excuses. Get out there, work hard, and you know, put that body to work that the Lord has blessed you with. And I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
It's good to see you. Take care and God bless.